Welcome to the office. I want to point out for a particular group, the integers under addition, what all of the subgroups of that are. In our last video, we took a look at the theorem which states that every subgroup of a cyclic group is cyclic, which means that all we need to do to consider all the potential subgroups of a cyclic group is to consider what can be generated by its elements. So if I wanted to consider the integers, I would just have to say, well, under addition, what can be created by 0? Of course, that's just the identity, so it doesn't create anything other than the identity. Then I can say, what's generated by 1? Everything. Fantastic, right? Again, in addition, it's instead of the element to a power, it's something times that element. So that would be the representation for addition. So n times the thing for any integer n. So 1 generates everything because everything can be written as something times 1. Fantastic. Now, what does 2 generate? Well, 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, and so on. But of course, don't forget that you can take the negatives as well. So -3 times 2 is a -6. All the negatives are in there, so that includes all of our evens. Okay. Then you can take what's generated by 3, what's generated by 4, so on and so forth. So all of the subgroups of Z are precisely n times Z, the subgroups n times Z. And that's it. Those are the subgroups. If you're not familiar with that notation or what I'm trying to say in those words, let's take a quick look. This is the statement of the theorem, rather a corollary. The subgroups of the integers under addition are precisely the groups n times z, again, under addition for any integer z. And that's it. I mean, really, you're starting to describe the same ones. What's generated by -2 is the same thing that's generated by a +2. So you could have just said the non-zero integers, and that's I'm sorry, not the non-zero, but the non-negative integers, and that would have been fine as well here for what numbers n can take on. Z is fine. Non-negative would be fine. Non-positive would have been fine. Whatever. Anyway, that's it for this video. Just a nice way to start categorizing what all of these subgroups of a particular group are. Of a little bit more interest to us are finite groups, and we'll take a look at those shortly. I'll see you back in the office.